Gayle Lofthouse.
BBC
Radio Leeds.
Now, we're pretty much right at the start of the summer holidays, hurrah. Not that you'd know, the weather's absolutely awful, isn't it? But you might just be jetting off to exotic places far and wide. And I thought it might be useful over the next few weeks to maybe learn some phrases that you might use in different countries. So today, I thought we'd do France. So to help us out with this, to help us out with a bit of French, I'm joined by Paul Ridley, who is from Yorkshire, French. Hello, Paul.
Bonjour Gayle.
Ah, bonjour, Paul.
Ça va?
Ah, ça va bien, merci.
Super, très bien.
Any more?
C'est bon, on peut.
Oh. Right. So, first of all, just tell me a little bit about Yorkshire French. What is that?
Yeah, well, YorkshireFrench.com
Yes.
is the little language school that really covered Yorkshire in the past, but since COVID, we've gone almost exclusively online.
Oh.
And so now we have expats living in France, people in Normandy, people down in Aix-en-Provence. So, yeah, it's a service for people at all different levels. I tend to get a lot of couples who want to take it further. But it goes from beginners right up to post-degree level. So,
What's your connection with French then?
good question. I lived over there for 10 years.
Do you think you've got an accent? Do you think you've got a bit of a French accent?
I'd love to think it rubbed off on me a little bit, but I don't think so.
Like, no, but when you're talking, just ever so
All right.
slightly.
Interesting.
What
Okay.
else is your accent? Is it a Yorkshire accent as
It's-
well? then? No, it's not, is it?
I'm from Newcastle.
Ah, maybe
Yeah.
that's what I'm getting.
Geordie French. Yeah.
Geordie French.
Geordie French, that's me.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. I know that
Pleasure.
you've got a number of students, and I think have you asked them the kind of things that might be useful to learn?
I have indeed, yes. So they've come up with some really good ideas.
Do you want to give us a few?
Yeah, the first one was, could you recommend a reasonably priced vegetarian restaurant in the area?
Wow.
Okay.
All right, let's
So
go
it
with
is,
that then.
Est-ce que vous pouvez recommander
Right.
un resto végétarien pas trop cher près d'ici,
So-
or dans le coin?
So the part of that is, can you recommend?
Can you
So
recommend?
what's that again?
Ok. Vous pouvez recommander,
Vous pouvez recommander.
voilà, recommander
Yeah.
un restaurant végétarien,
Restaurant végétarien.
voilà.
Yeah.
Pas trop cher means not too expensive, literally.
Pas
Pas
Trop
trop cher.
cher. So that's three different words there. Vous pouvez recommander un restaurant végétarien pas trop cher près d'ici.
Bravo.
Okay, right, Paul.
Impeccable.
Things I need to tell you.
Don't clap my hands.
I've got an A level in French.
Ah, right.
But I'm 47 years old, so it's 30 years since I actually studied French. But do you find
That was
that
good.
if you've got a bit of French,
Yep.
do you think does it come back to you?
I do. I think you're very, very rusty, but that kind of retrieval
Yeah.
comes back. All you need is to spark it off with a few classes, a bit, open up the floodgates. And it does, you'd be amazed the amount of people who say, oh, yeah, of course, I
Yeah.
remember that. It's coming back to me now.
It was when you said pas trop cher.
Voilà.
I remembered not too expensive.
Exactly.
But I haven't even thought about those words for a long time. So what else might be useful? I mean, if we were going down the restaurant route, I would say if I walked into a restaurant, I'd politely, if I hadn't booked, I'd politely like to say something to the effect of, could we have a table for three, please?
Right, excellent. Okay, you could say, on peut avoir une table pour 3 personnes.
On peut avoir une table pour 3 personnes. So what's on peut? What's on peut?
They use one can. It's like can we instead of nous. You could use nous pouvons,
Right, yeah.
but in reality they say on peut quite a lot.
On peut.
Can we?
On peut
Yeah.
avoir une table pour 3 personnes. And please, s'il vous plaît.
Exactement.
Oh.
S'il vous plaît. Voilà, messieurs, dames, votre table. And then they're going to show you to your table.
Do you find that, I mean, it'd be different for you because you'll be fluent, of course. But if I was to go to France and actually go into a restaurant, they would know. They would pick up quite quickly that my French is rusty, more than rusty. Do you think they like you to make a bit of an effort? Is it a polite thing to do?
I do. Unless you're in Paris, they can't be bothered with people trying. They can't. They just want people to get to the tables and eat. But if you're outside of Paris, always make the effort. I mean, I'm joking. You can in Paris, but if you go to somewhere more provincial, why not? And it's more fun as well.
Yeah. So if I was going to ask for something specific, I think this is the area where people will remember quite obvious things. And I probably wouldn't order this in a restaurant, but could I have a ham sandwich, please? Right. We all learned that, didn't we?
Well, yeah. So what's the ham sandwich?
Sandwich jambon.
Voilà, le sandwich de jambon. So how would you say it? Can I have?
Well, now one would think that you would use something quite convoluted like est-ce que je peux avoir?
Parfait.
Oh,
Très
I was going to say,
bien.
but I remember you would use the phrase je voudrais, which I think sounds rude because what you're actually saying is I would like.
Yes, it is. I would definitely go with the je peux avoir road. Yeah. You don't always need to use the est-ce que if you're speaking, if you're asking a question.
Right.
I always put it in brackets when I'm teaching.
Yeah.
So if you're using enough intonation, you can just say, pardon, je peux avoir un sandwich jambon, s'il vous plaît?
Oh, but you're doing a lot there in tone, aren't you?
And you can see my hands moving as well.
Yeah, but just like tonally, the way that you said that was musical. That would take me a long time to learn all of the ups and the downs,
in that
Paul.
case, use est-ce que. Est-ce que je peux avoir? But yeah.
What else did your students come up with anything different?
Yeah, I've got a great one here, which is my husband got sunburned. Is there a chemist?
Okay.
So basically, mon mari, my husband, il a pris un coup de soleil. Un coup de soleil is like a burn of the sun.
Right. Yeah.
Mon mari a pris un coup de soleil. How do you think you'd ask? There is a chemist. What's that structure to say there is?
Give me the full sentence again.
So, my husband has got sunburn. Is there a pharmacy?
Oh, so you would say, well, what we used to learn was où est la pharmacie?
That would work. That's where is.
Yes, yeah.
What about there is?
Il est?
Il y a.
Il y a.
So make it into a question and say, there is a pharmacy.
But you're making it a question just by going up at the end because what you're actually saying, there is a pharmacy.
Yeah. So to ask a question, the easiest way, you just say, il y a une pharmacie?
Il y a une pharmacie?
There is a chemist?
And what the part of the sentence that I didn't quite get was, so mon mari a pris.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
That means he took. It's from the verb to take.
Yes.
Prendre.
Yeah.
So he took a blow of the sun, literally. That's how you say un coup, un coup is like a knock.
Right. Okay.
Un coup de soleil.
Oh, right. Oh, well, I think with a little bit of effort, I could catch right up.
I think there's potential there.
Do you find that? Do people do that with you then?
Yeah.
Do they come to you and say, look, I'm going on holiday,
Absolutely.
or maybe I'm going to go and live out there?
Yeah, loads of that. Lots of people who are preparing the way to go and live in France, and they feel that they may have GCSE or even A level, but it was a long time ago, and they just need to get that confidence back to speak it on a regular basis, and then the vocabulary all comes flying back.
Do you find that because I learned French like back in the day at high school, are there certain things that that have been taught wrong? Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Where like people of my generation remember vividly La Rochelle. That was a real big part of our teenage years. But
Lovely place. It is
actually lovely place. But are there things that we remember that were just totally wrong at the time?
I think we were taught really formal French, which has little to do with the reality of living in the country. And I mean, if you make something negative, we might say. Je ne sais pas, for example. Je ne sais pas. I do not know.
I do not know. Yeah.
In reality, it just contracts to je sais pas.
Je sais pas.
Yeah, the note disappears.
Right.
Quite a lot. That's another little thing that you learn.
Oh, that's interesting.
In like the real world.
And another thing that I like to know when I'm away is, you know, when you've been really awkward and like you've stood in the wrong place, or maybe you drop something, or you accidentally bump into somebody, what's the most polite way to say I'm sorry? Because we love saying sorry, don't we?
Definitely. Well, you've got two. You've got oh, pardon.
Oh, pardon.
Oh, pardon, excusez-moi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or désolé.
So, je suis désolé.
Je suis désolé, madame. Je suis désolé, monsieur.
Is that really formal, though? Is that like saying, I'm very
It's not.
sorry?
No, it's not. You don't even need to use the je suis. Just, oh, désolé.
Oh, désolé.
Oh, désolé.
Ah, I love this.
Pardon.
I love this. Was there anything else on your list that your students had come up with that might be useful? Or was that
yeah,
it? Oh, go on.
allergies as well in a
Allergies?
restaurant. Yeah, you might say, you know, désolé, mais je suis allergique à la moutarde.
Mustard. Is it?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Désolé, mais je suis allergique. So it sounds almost like the English. You know, allergique, I'm allergic.
Who's allergic to mustard?
Lots of people.
Really?
Many people.
What about nuts then? What's nuts?
Ah, les noix.
Les noix.
Les
Noix.
noix. Attention aux noix.
And are they as hot on these things as we
Oh,
are?
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting. So
definitely.
when will you next go to France? Are you going at all?
I've been already. I tend to try and go twice per year
Do you?
because I've got a huge gang of, you know, the buddies who I was there for 10 years. So they're like my family, really.
Très
So
bon.
Saint-Etienne, big shout out.
But that's a band, isn't it?
It is as well.
As well as a football team.
Absolutely.
Oh, do you
Yeah.
know, this is great. We probably need to do this again, though, to be
That's it.
fully
C'est
up
sûr.
to speed.
Pas de problème.
And I will say, I need to let you go because we're about to do the news, but merci, Paul.
How do you say you're welcome?
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I don't know.
De rien.
As in, it's nothing.
That's right.
Oh,
Excellent.
guess what I got at A level?
Can I just say
D.
hello
D.
to Sarah,
Yeah, of
my
course you
lovely
can.
partner, my family, and all my students.
Oh, bonjour, Sarah, et bonjour, tout le monde.
Tout le monde.
Oh, I've enjoyed this, Paul.
Me too. Moi aussi.
And
Moi
what
aussi.
I've enjoyed this a lot. Thank you so much for coming in. Paul Ridley is from Yorkshire, Frenshire. We've spoken for so long. It's actually now time for the news. It's 12 o'clock. Here's Clive.
On the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker,